leaders, great defenders, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be yours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love. Teach us to respect for all. It's the response to duty's call. Strengthen us, the weak to change. Give us visions lest we perish. Knowledge sent us, Heavenly Father, grant true wisdom from above. Justice to be yours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love.
Thank you. You may be seated. Beautiful. What a wonderful day it is. It's a pleasure to be here today to gather with the great minds of the world, to know that we are heading ahead with prosperity, speaking of the future today. You're gathered here today to share your views, your thoughts, your mind, your spirits, and your love that we were created for and within. We just heard the song and the lyrics of the Jamaican national anthem. And it's a petition that I've wrote to the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Honorable Mr. Andrew Holness. Just picking your brain. All right? At this time, the petition is all about embracing the national anthem in a more respectful and orderly manner. Mr. Hugh Sherlock is the original writer of that lyrics. It was a covenant that he made with Jehovah for Jamaica, or in favor of Jamaica. It is used like at every international sports or events, sometimes funerals, government affiliations, schools, most time in churches for certain occasions also. But it is not embraced or become a solid meditation of the heart of the people. It is respectfully adored, just like we stand a while ago, and respectfully wishes and honor. With this covenant, the lyrics of that anthem, it is said and known as the most powerful lyrics when it comes to Jehovah. It is most detrimental when it's not been honored. It is most mighty if you listen the lyrics of the song. It is a total commitment that he has made with Jamaica. But because we are caught up in so many things of the world, like today, the war in Russia, may God have mercy on their souls, the one that died, may God change it back to peace. That's the same thing that's happening in Jamaica today. It's all about crimes, fulfillment of the heart and the mind, what you can get, what you can possess, what you can win, and the love of the people is the least of the multitude. So that music that we just heard a while ago, the national anthem, I asked for the Prime Minister, Mr. Holness, to embrace it by giving it a more recognition to the heart of the people by posting it on a big blackboard or billboard on every government institutional building in Jamaica, every schools, every police station, every prison, are properties that are owned by the government in Jamaica. Also, at the entering at every parish in Jamaica, a billboard is going to be placed, should be placed rather, at the entering of every parishes in Jamaica. So each time when you drive by to see you're entering Hanover or St. James, you can see the national anthem right there, which reminds you of who you are and how great of a person you can be. Also, it should be and will be played 2 times daily on the radio station or the television programs, just to remind the people of the covenant that Mr. Hugh Sherlock has made with Jehovah. It is so sad to say today that most schools in Jamaica, even when I was going to school in Jamaica, from college to high school, I have no idea who was Hugh Sherlock. Most Jamaicans today, if you challenge them, they would not be able to tell you who is Hugh Sherlock. That lyrics was written by Hugh Sherlock in 1962, and it was being played and officially become an anthem of Jamaica. It is so important for our younger ones to know the covenant and the person of these lyrics, because it means so much to us. As to the politicians and the teachers, the lawyers and the doctors, I also ask they would embrace these lyrics to the nation so that we can live up to be the people that we ought to be. Mr. Hugh Sherlock is not known as a national hero, although they said heroes die. I love the heroes that are living like ourselves. We are heroes, and we are going to make changes to show the people of the world that we are heroes. We are not here to create a war. We are not here to create randomly crises that are not right. We are not here to correct the world. We can't do that. We are not here to tell people how to live. We have no authority to do that. But we can correct ourselves and create a world around us from within us. So the national anthem, as the petition as I write, I ask for the government and the ministers in Jamaica to just make haste and don't make waste. Let us live and honor these lyrics of the national anthem in Jamaica. Our next move will be speaking of the coat of arms, and before we do that, I'm going to ask to play the song of the land of my birth. This is the land of my birth. Familiar with this song? I can see you rocking it, and I think you like it, huh?
You make my friend, it's not always a rich you are.
Mr. Tourist, leave your land and come.
I love that line. I love that line. All right. Did you enjoy that song?
Yes.
It's a beautiful song. I love that song to my heart. I cherish the words of that song. Every single word of that song is of meaning to Jamaica and the people and the world. Because the artist is saying, Miss Tourist, Mr. Tourist, leave your land and come. It's all about beautiful things this song talk about. And I can see the smiles on your face and you're nodding your head to the music. I see you're enjoying that. That reminds me of the days when we used to go to Jamaica to visit. Visitors, returning residents, used to enjoy the paradise of Jamaica. But today, because of crimes and you name it, and the younger generations, who most of them have no hopes in life, except for what they can achieve, we are scared to even go to Jamaica. When we hear about the things that are happening in Jamaica, we cry sometimes in our hearts. Not only Jamaica, other Caribbean countries too. Cuba and the rest of places. But today we are dealing with Jamaica. It is a beautiful place, do you agree?
Yes.
Yes. Beautiful, really beautiful. I've never heard one tourist or a visitor complain about Jamaica being a bad place. But today the news and the media points that out, and that direction is where we're heading today, because we want to change a lot of things in Jamaica. We want to bring Jamaica back to the paradise that it was. Okay? Are you agreeing with me?
Yes.
All right. So here we go. Bringing changes to one's mind can often cause a great deal of doubts and also wide varieties of concerns, questions. But nevertheless, here's the most fulfilling. Most critical is the importance of criticism and condemnation against the effectiveness of truth. Based on the acceptance of our people, the days of darkness are over. Living with the consequences of curse are over. We'll no longer live with the legacies of destructions and the fabrications of murderers, along with the principles of death. Now is the day, or the days, of overcoming the blindness of conspiracies. Jamaica is a wonderful place, and we're not blaming nobody for the conditions that we're living, because we have to control our mind. But the things that have been added down to Jamaica could be conspiracies and lead us into the wrong path. So today we're going to correct it in the right way within ourselves and teach our younger generation what the difference can be. That is the reason why, not me, not I was ordained by Jehovah to bring the changes of the coat of arms to the changes of the coat of covenant. This method is to show the world that we can change and bring Jamaica back to where it was. We are capable of doing that, and that's what we're approaching to do right now. Mr. Andrew Holness, he honorably get the letter of petition, and what I would like to do through the works of Jehovah and respond is there as follows. This is not a political purpose or political reason. It's just to show us that we can change the differences to make us into a better nation. I thank Jehovah, our Creator, for the opening of our eyes. I honor Emmanuel and his comfortness within his words of wisdom, here's which he has granted us freedom of deliverance. We are now sober from the drunkenness of the kings. Before I go any further, I would like to express and explain something about the changes of the coat of covenant. If you notice closely on the words Jamaica coat of arms. Coat is a cover-up, is a shelter. It can be used to get you warm. It can be used for fashion. It is used for anything to cover up, and it also can cover up lies too. So when it comes to coat, it's totally about covering, whether in a bad way or a good way. After the many 47 dictionaries that I've been through after I get the word from Jehovah, I searched for the word arms. Arms in no fashion at all, no way at all, mean well or good. Doesn't matter who use it, how they use it, or what it's for. Arms has to do with weaponry. If you Google or check your dictionary, arms has to do with death, blood, killing, armors, you name it. So no way it is good for me, you, Jamaica or the world, Russia, Ukraine, you name it. Arms only result in death. It is not a solution. It is destruction. And we're going to see why it is destruction. The next thing on the Jamaica motto that is being used right now is an alligator or a crocodile, which is sitting on a log at the very beginning of it. What Jehovah asked me to do is to change this area onto the map of Jamaica, which you will see into details why it's been done. When it comes to the crocodile or the alligator, it's a mentality for human beings. If you are being led by an alligator or a crocodile, the mentality is way different from being a human being. This is the only animal that eats even its own young ones. I've never seen really a pet, maybe there is now, but I see snakes and other animals as pets. But for a crocodile, it's very scary to have a crocodile or an alligator as a pet. So Jehovah having me changing the alligator mentality to the map of Jamaica. Then we'll get into that later when I explain the covenant. Then you'll see the importance and the differences. Below the alligator, there's a manta helmet. This helmet, I'm sure a lot of Jamaicans didn't really look into or what it is for. This is a helmet that the knights wear. May I borrow a pencil? This is a helmet that the knights wear. The knights are like, they ride a horse with a long spear, if I'm not wrong, yes. And they put a mask over their head to fight each other. So this is an helmet or a mantle. If you see this V-cut, it is a cape, like a gown, like what the judges wear, that long behind them, like a gown. So it's a war helmet and a war cape. Remember, we're working with arms all the way down. So there is a cape, there's the helmet. Arms, as I said, is death, killing. If you notice these two things hanging at the side, like flowers or leaves, it is the wreath from a grave. I hope Jamaicans would listen and see what I'm saying. The Father ordained me to teach this. So what I'm saying is what He shows me. This is the wreath from a grave. If you check the alligator with the arms to the mantle, on the cape, on the grave, what is that telling you? Death. That's not life. That's destruction. And I hope a lot of other countries look into what we're explaining here. Okay? Now, this is the flag of England. We have no dispute about that. We have no problem with that. We love the flag. We love red and white. We love to watch them play soccer. It's just to say that's the flag. And the pineapple is a mentality of eating. Alright? So, now, important. These two people, they are Indians. When I was in Jamaica, they teach us about the Arawaks Indians. They were there before black people. They are black in chocolate colors, but we are from Africa, original. We were shipped or brought there rather, and these people were the occupants of Jamaica. To go into details, I won't. It's going to take too much time. But they were brutalized, they were killed, they were raped, they got destroyed all off the earth completely. There's not one Arawak Indian leaving Jamaica right now. There are Indians, but there are no Arawak Indians. So that is coming with the coat of arms. So there you go again. What's that? Death, killing. And look in his arm. There's a bone arrow. This is a bone arrow. The arrow. That's an arrow. So there you go. It's going to get more interesting. Beyond all of this, Jehovah asked me to take a clean observation on out of many one people. If you notice the coat of covenant, I replace it through the love of the Father with the map of Jamaica. Also, the butterfly, the hummingbird, is known as the national bird of Jamaica. This bird means peace. This bird means humbleness. This bird means honey. This bird means favor in plants, flowers. Speaking of flowers, on the left or your right is the hibiscus plant of Jamaica, which is representing paradise. Paradise. Sweet paradise, Jamaica, all together. So the Father asked me not to add, not to take away. Present this to the people in place of this. But I'm not finished with this yet. Here's most important. If you are giving us a coat of arms to represent us, where should we be? Canada love their nation. I've never heard Canadian government speak of any issue without addressing their nation. If I'm wrong, you can correct me. Don't matter who is in power, Justin Trudeau or whoever, they always put the people first. I've never seen a country with food plentiful like Canada. Since I've been here in 1994, how many years, maybe 30-something years or whatever, I've never seen chicken gone scarce. I've never seen pork scarce. I've never seen milk not on the shelf. I've never seen nothing in Canada short when it comes to food. The health is the best. I don't know if there's another country in Canada with a better health system than Canada. The schooling, even where we are right now, recreational centers, football fields, opportunities for young people, it's all about Canada. I can speak of that. Other countries might, but I can speak of my home. So I can assure you that Canada put people first. Take a keen look at the coat of arms. Out of many one people, if you can see out of many one people, is at the very bottom of our coat of arms. I asked Jehovah, why is that? He asked me, sent me to search on the word people. Because a lot of people don't really know what people means. If I should ask the world, what is people, they say us. But what about the significance of being a person? How do you value each other's lives of being a person? How do you see me, even if I do something wrong to you, as a person? If I'm hungry and your stomach is full, would you feed me as a person? If I approach your door, need somewhere to sleep, would you sleep with your wife in the couch and put me in your master bedroom? Would you do these things? I'm not asking if you would crucify yourself for another life. That's Jehovah's thing. But how do you value each other as Jehovah's property? It's very important. After being in the dictionary and searching on the word people, it comes up with over 47 different meanings. Human beings, spirits, you name it. But there's one meaning in it. And I hope you jot this down. If you could jot this down, I want you to do this because I want you to call me on it. In the dictionary, search for the word people. The Cyrus dictionary rather, or any dictionary. People. Just search for the word people. Just write, I will search for the word people. There is one meaning in it. Said, a warsome people race. One of the meaning is a warsome people race. I'm sure Jamaican don't really look into that. So watch this. If you give me the coat of arms, you give me the alligator mentality, you give me the grave and the war, you give me all the conspiracies, whatever it is, to remind me that these are not existing anymore. We kill them. You give me these to wear. And then the people, you call me a warsome race tribe. Then today, what you're doing, remember, this is not discrimination. This is not about races. It's nothing like that. It's to open the eyes. Black people doesn't make guns. Doesn't matter who make it. Guns are destructive. Today in Jamaica, the arms in Jamaica is maybe more than the food. In Jamaica. I'm talking about my country. So you can blast me. Where I'm from Montego Bay, Mr. Don. And I will not dare you to walk there anytime alone. You gotta watch what you step, watch what you eat, watch where you go. Jamaica today, under the arms, is a dangerous place. It's the truth. So, if all of these combine together and we're under the coat of arms, what is Jamaica tomorrow? What I did is, through the love of the Father, I placed out of many one people above, right under the coat of covenant. Covenant means agreement, righteousness, togetherness, all of the righteous things about Jehovah's covenant. Doesn't matter which God you serve. There's no God that's going to tell you to kill and war people. If your God is telling you to kill and war, it's not a good God. Any God have a covenant with you has to be growth, multiplication of love, education, you name it. Values on people's life. So covenants go with people. So I took the cup out of many one people from the bottom and place it on the top. So when you go to Jamaica Court of Covenant, you're speaking of the people. Where? Jamaica. What is Jamaica? The map. What does the map brings when it comes to Jamaica? This is the big changes. In the future, Jehovah asked me to point out to the president or the government, or you name them, Ministry of Agriculture, we're going to use the same land to create jobs for the people. We're going to use rocks, stones that the earth gives us, open grinding factories for rocks to rebuild the roads in Jamaica. That's opening jobs for the people from the map, not from the war. The same land, we're going to make food become the cheapest thing in the whole world in Jamaica. The reason for that, the soil in Jamaica grows almost any and everything. In your backyard at your step, you can cultivate your food. But yet in Jamaica, we are importing food like scallion and tomato and cabbage and all of that. By the time those foods process and reach in the country, they're no good. But yet the people can't afford to buy them. So the changes from the land, farming, gonna come in effect. Speaking of farming, there is no country in the world that put farmers behind. If you put farmers behind, you lose. The most important thing in Canada to me, again, is farming. The further you go north or wherever, it's farmlands. They're interested in farming. So from the same map or the land, you're going to use it to create jobs. So many opportunities. I don't want to go into all of it, but those are few. From the same land, when you do the Googling or whatever in your Google, if you should Google rivers of the Caribbean, the biggest rivers, the longest rivers, the most rivers, it's in Jamaica. One river in Jamaica, Mr. Carlos, can cover Jamaica with water. But yet in Jamaica, certain places in Jamaica, you're going to buy water. Let me hear it, my brother.
There's a lot of springs as well.
See? Springs are there. But in Jamaica, Mr. Don, you have to buy water to shower, to cook. People stealing water from each other. People dying for water in Jamaica. And everywhere you turn in Jamaica, there's a river. So, from the same land of water, I asked the Prime Minister to build dams in areas that are less fortunate with water. The same river can fill the dams. From the dams, we can open more National Water Authority plants to treat the water, and the country would be at ease. I've never been in Canada before where there's no water. And I'm seeing Umber River and maybe a few more rivers, but Umber River is a very long river. Look at Niagara Falls. Look how far Niagara Falls are from us. But yet when you turn your pipe, water is there. These are things what the people need in Jamaica. And when all of these are done, are put into place, then you will see crime drops. If you notice, the father did not tell me to talk about guns, how to fight the crime, how to do certain things. No. He just want me to change the covenant from coat of arms to the covenant of He, Jehovah. He will do the rest. It's a motivation. It's a plan that we implement and let the people know we can restore Jamaica back together again.
Create a lot of jobs too.
Create jobs. Any ideas you think can come from the covenant by looking on it? Education. Education is a key. I'll tell you something. A lot of people would say education is the key. It's the truth. Education is the key. But watch this. If my child is brilliant, rich in education, very good, and your child is like 2 grades behind my child, but your child is a farmer's daughter, okay? And I got a shop at the supermarket, but I'm rich. Eventually, my child is going to fall behind because when I can't afford the food, and that child become hungry, he can't concentrate. No child learns with a hungry stomach. You can't function with, am I right, Mr. Cameraman? You can't function with an empty stomach. Right now, anyone of you sitting on the table are hungry, you might not be concentrating on what I'm saying, because the belly is talking. But that farmer's child that eat the yam, the dumpling, the dashi, the banana, learn so fast because his belly is so full. So if you give the poor people an opportunity to get farming back in line and feed the country, then you see crime drop. Education level gonna rise. From the education, you're gonna have doctors, lawyers. So you see the difference in the Code of Covenant? It is not about political purposes or reason. It's going to be political affair, because I was talking with Mr. Dan today. I keep calling Mr. Dan. Where is he today? And he was saying concerning the arms, he make a good point. A lot of people are going to contemplate about it. But the fact is, we're not there to dictate, oppress, or say what you need to do. We're just bringing out the word to the nation because we want to enjoy Jamaica again. So there you goes. When it comes to the Court of Covenant, it's totally about Jehovah. It is not about me, or the force, or the police. It is about Jehovah. It is not about telling the Queen she's wrong. We have no area or right to do that. Whatever she does, she does. Yeah. We just want something for us. I would like to see Rastafarians in Jamaica start to lead the people with love. They speak love, they want love, but the oppressors keep them down and away from sharing love. Okay, so we want these things to come together. I want to see churches rise again. Speak the truth, teach the truth. I want to see people like Dawn, this beautiful, wonderful lady, can go to Jamaica and rise a community and live in love. I want to see other Asians go to Jamaica, not only to visit and enjoy the sea, but to teach our children the future. These are the things I want. From the same land, we're going to raise doctors who can create and make more medicine for the country. These are the things Jehovah showed me, so I can fluently speak it. It's not coming from me. Herbal doctors in Jamaica.
Yes.
Yes. If we can get our younger generation to do more physics in school, to do more learning in school, take the education to another level, we can create doctors who can use the same bush, fruits, weed from the land and make our medicines.
Yes. Natural stuff.
So for the people, it's cheaper for them to buy.
Like what old people used to do back in the day.
There you go. Now I'm getting a response. Now I'm getting a response. Because health system in Jamaica is so expensive. If you go to the hospital now in Jamaica, you might die before you see a doctor. There are patients there, Mr. Tai, who are dying on the bed and haven't seen a doctor yet. We only have ambulances in Jamaica.
So right.
You call the ambulance maybe next week.
Next week.
So we can get like the best care is Kingston, Mandeville.
This is what I love to respond.
And maybe Montego.
See, there you go.
Well, you have to have your money.
Other island have depended on those.
You just mentioned something.
You have to have your money.
He said you have to have money. See?
And
So,
you know one thing though, they have inferior medicine building.
yes,
I know that from my personal experience.
yes.
They gave me a medicine out there a couple years ago. I couldn't find it anywhere. I couldn't find it on any list anywhere. I don't know what it was.
Look at that.
The job it was given to do, didn't do.
Yes.
I suffered there till I came out here.
I believe you.
My son got bit by the red insect.
Yes.
And all he needed was something, a cream to put on it.
Yes.
The doctor prescribed him 7 different things. Acid reflux medicine, a whole bunch of other stuff that has nothing to do with the bite that they got.
You
It's
see what I
all
mean?
about collecting money for themselves, right?
There you go.
It doesn't matter about you.
There you go. There you go. So, where's the people?
You don't have the people.
You see, I have a thing I want to say, especially about Jamaica and the churches.
Yes.
There's a lot of churches in Jamaica, and I think the churches are robbing the people.
Whoa.
And they're taking the money from the poor people, because
Yes.
the poor people of our church, they want to get saved or they want
Yes.
something, whatever, right?
Yes.
They're looking for help.
Yes.
They're hungry.
Yes.
And the church are taking their money and not giving them anything, and they're not
See
telling
that?
them the truth.
There you go.
So, Jamaica, for example, Manchester have about 500 to 600 churches.
Yes.
At the one parish.
Yes.
Every parish is the same thing.
Yes.
There's more churches than school, than hospital, than
Yes.
everything else.
Yes.
And the people are supporting it. They're
Yes.
full. Every Sunday, Saturday, whichever day, they're full with people. And
Yes.
so many people can't find money to buy food.
Oh my gosh.
But they find the collection money.
Yes. You're so right. Yes. I'm loving these
Nobody
feedbacks.
understands this. Let them know that we don't
Yes.
need that. We need,
Yes.
we need help. We
Yes.
You say part
Get on
of
this.
it is part of the colonial mentality.
Yeah, man.
So they believe in exactly exactly that. And they're
Let me
not
tell
opening
you.
their eyes.
Yes. Yes. Let me tell you something. Conspiracies goes a far way. And if you want to win a nation, keep them hungry. If you want to win a group, keep them hungry.
Willie Lynch.
That's all right.
Okay? So, with all the conspiracies that are taking places like Ukraine, it's a planned thing. If you watch the war closely today, we're not straying. If you watch, is it Putin? Putin?
Yeah.
If you watch what he's doing, this thing is orchestrated from way back when. He hits when nobody can defend Ukraine. He wants to put a base in America, close by. Russia and America is very close, you know.
No.
Russia and America is very close. So if Putin could get a base close to America and keep America away from Ukraine, he's a conqueror. But what it takes, the life of, they don't care who eat,
Don't care.
where you sleep, as long as they can destroy you, that's what they want. That's the same thing taking place in Jamaica right now.
Yeah, because the farmer them not selling their crop. They go
Nothing.
and carry food from
Nothing.
Canada, USA.
Nothing.
And the farmer plant and they don't have nothing to sell. Because no market.
Yes.
You know, one
So
more
that's wickedness.
Yes.
The man put all his earning, everything,
Yes.
and when done, when to sell his crop, no market for it.
Yes.
Because the competition come from
foreign countries.
And it's waste food.
Here you go.
It's waste. That's the best.
And next thing,
Yes.
the older generation that used to do the farming, they're dying out.
And the younger one
Younger
that do it.
generation,
They don't know how to do it.
everything is what they see on TV. The marketing,
That's why the Court of Covenant is coming in place. Because two individuals questioned me about this. Because I do a survey. For the questions, there are surveys. Different people ask me questions and I make sure write them down. So these are not questions really from me. Some from Wayne, some from Odette, some from other people, some from out there. One individual asked me, Tony, so much baby mothers in Jamaica, you know Jamaican talk, baby mother and picking them bad and they pick them hungry. And I always say, gerber, food, the food gerber. So I'm like, okay, from the covenant, when the factories are open in Jamaica, more work again, we can pasteurize all fruits
Distribution.
in different types, powder, jello, meal. So food could be the cheapest thing for babies in Jamaica. Then if the foreign countries doesn't want to buy it, we sell it to the Caribbean countries. And the other Caribbean countries can adopt the Court of Covenant in their fashion and do the same thing.
And why do we have to worry about supporting other countries?
No.
We like you are.
Okay.
Support ourselves.
There you go. So this Court of Covenant is a wide variety of extension of abilities to create and make a better world for Jamaica. The other person asked me, I didn't bring that one on the question because I don't want it to throw us off. He asked me, what about the security system in Jamaica? How would the Court of Arm help them? I'm like, they have to help themselves. The Court of Arm is not there to separate the bad weed from the good weed in the force. It is, one
I
second.
documented something to ask. But,
Yes.
as you touched the topic here. Yeah?
Yes, yes.
I think, as you mentioned earlier about the anthem, the national anthem.
Yes.
And it's a powerful
Yes.
prayer, yeah?
Yes.
And it's said to state it at designated points.
Yes.
In government institute.
Yes.
And I was going to ask you, do you think it could help to reduce crime?
Yes.
And what I wanted,
Yes.
all right, you answer. Do you
Yes.
think it will help to reduce crime?
It could, it would, it will, it will. But it has to come from the heads to embrace that. Because if you put the anthem in the room here,
Yes.
I'm the leader, put it in the room and said, honor the anthem. But yet, I'm invested in arms and drugs and criminals, yet I'm telling you to honor it. It won't change nothing.
It's corrupt.
The corruption gotta get fixed first.
You gotta change the heart.
Yeah.
Yes, the heart has to get fixed.
Yes.
Gotta change.
If I could just add something here before I forget, I might have a senior moment to get out of my head. When you were describing the present coat of arms
Yes.
with the alligator on the top,
Yes.
that represents a reptilian spirit.
Oh my gosh.
You see?
Thank you.
And that reptilian spirit is the covering right now in Jamaica. That spirit has to be broken. It has to go.
You should be up here talking that.
Yes.
Did you hear what he says?
Yes.
It represents a reptile
Yes.
spirit
Yes.
that is covering Jamaica.
Yes.
It's holding it.
Holding it down.
Holding it down.
Yes.
Back to
Like,
this now.
they want to eat it, they want to do it, they just want to sit on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
Break your spirit.
I think the anthem, by seeing the anthem, because it's not many Jamaicans can say the anthem word for word, you know.
Yes.
Or there's a certain meaning in it that they don't even acknowledge. you know.
Yes.
I think by putting it at certain places, as you mentioned,
Yes.
it will make a great difference.
Yes.
Yeah, because it brings a matter of peace and calmness. You know
Come
what I
on,
mean?
come on, come
Yes,
on,
yes,
come on.
yes, yes.
You,
I'm-
you know, like in Toronto here, like for example, in the mall or at a subway,
Yes.
if the music you hear in there is always calm music.
Yes.
You know why?
No.
Because they don't want to hype you up.
Yes.
You're not going to hear hip hop there, you're not going to hear reggae there.
Yes.
Because that gives a different energy.
Yes, that makes
You
sense.
see what I'm
That
saying?
makes
They play
sense.
music to just keep
That
you
makes sense.
calm
That makes sense.
music.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
That makes sense.
It's pop.
At this time, we know time is against, so we're going to get out at 5, but we're going to go to a little intermission, have something to snack, and then come back to the questionnaires. But before I go, I want to enlighten you on something. We grew up and we heard about ghettos. Ghetto, I think ghetto. Yes. And when it comes to ghettos, we think about slums and poor and fences like zincs and hunger and crimes.
Broken down old buildings.
I want to ask you, honestly, do you think that's a ghetto compared to today's world? Because we were taught that. Just like the coat of covered arms. We were taught this. So we embrace this. We know nothing more. We love this until the Father opened our eyes, right? So the ghetto that they place to us is here, and we live with it, around it, and we say it's a ghetto. I'm not going to challenge the question, but do you honestly think that's the ghetto?
Well, all right. I couldn't classify a ghetto from a well, I wouldn't say I could. A ghetto is more like less fortunate people, you know, residents of less fortunate people.
Ghetto is like
because
concrete
of scale, yeah.
So food grow there and nothing, you know? That's a ghetto to me, you know?
Listen.
No food, don't
Why
grow.
I say less fortunate, yeah?
Yes.
If they could have afforded a better lifestyle,
Yes.
they wouldn't be living the way they're living.
Yes.
Yeah,
But they're not born.
like
Yes.
Shakis and so forth. No, but there's people that elevate themselves from there
Yes.
as
That's
well.
the matter. So they're not
Okay.
born.
That's not a ghetto to me.
If I
You
may,
know that crime
Yes.
is stemmed from poverty,
Yes.
yeah?
yes.
Majority,
If-
That's why I said poor people.
If I may, due to time, let me give you a highlight, which we can discuss while we snack. When it comes to a ghetto, it means get in you. Get in you. Get in you means get in you. Get in you, G-H-E-T-T-O, get in you. In the circle is getting you. When they get you to think that you are poor, you are poor. When they get you to think that you're less of a person, you are less of a person. When they get you to think you're a criminal, you become a criminal. So what they do, they drive you in the city. Ghettos can't be found in countries.
No.
Ghettos has to be in the town, the city, downtown Toronto, where it's concrete. Nothing grows.
Nothing grow there.
No water in the ghetto, except the one that runs in the drain. You might find 5 pipes. That's ghetto. So ghetto was created by mankind. It was placed to keep you poor. If you're not poor and killing each other, the morgue doesn't make any money.
It's money making.
The hospital doesn't make money.
Going off the cell.
The policeman loses his job. Just like the speeding man now. You only see police in cars on the road anymore. It's about cameras now. So all those cameras take out thousands of work from the cops. So that's the ghetto. Not what we see with the slums and all. That's not ghetto. That's a living. Poor living. You're right. Ghetto is what they created for you to become poorer, poverty stricken, and all of that. So that's really a ghetto. So right about now, We're going to go for at least 5-10 minutes break and then come up to the question here, and then you cannot shoot me down with the questions. All right? Love you so much. Let's snack. All right, Richard, music. You know that song?
Murderer, slaughterer, alligator, yummy, 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 you a murderer.
Listen to the words of this song.
Crocodile, not so much you a slaughterer. Hey. Here comes the sleepy eyes to eliminate and minimize, feasting on the life of the human race. Saving in his storeroom desires of his heart, taking away the future from the poor. Eating through the jungle, mothers, fathers, and children. He yams so much he even eats his own. He's the head, also the tail, peaceful and so calm, but yet he come to search, kill and destroy. Alligator, yummy, 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 you a murderer. Crocodile, not so much you a slaughterer. Alligator, yummy, 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 you a murderer. Crocodile, you know so much you a vampire. With your jacket and briefcase, comfortable associate. Trusting is new is our big mistake. While you sleep, your mouth is open, dreaming convincing words. It's bitter for us, you are a two-edged sword. Poor people has realized, to win us you first divide, then tomorrow you drive by with a surprise. Also water you gave us, a drink of vinegar. At this moment our joy is your destroy. Alligator, yummy, 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 you a murderer.
Thank you so much, Mr. Music. That song was created and written by Prophit. And the reason and purpose for that song is to embrace what's here and the difference from there. So about now, without further delay, we're going to go to some questions from the questionnaire. And the first one is from Mr. Anthony.
I'd like to ask, why wasn't the indigenous emblem not included in your vision of the Jamaican Coat of Covenant?
The indigenous emblem. Okay, what happened is when it comes to the Coat of Covenant, it wasn't created by me. The things that are here, they're already created by the Father. He just ordained me and instructed me to put them together for the meaning and purpose of what's coming in the future. That's why it wasn't involved in it. So all of this, I can't say who created it or who put it together, but I know what it meant. For the Coat of Covenant, it was ordained by the Father to do that and bring it to the people for them to see and embrace what it means.
Okay, so I have a question. After listening to everything that you have said, you seem right, and I do believe there's people out there who have the same thought like you do, but they already never come up with it. So how would you convince people who are afraid of change?
With that question, it's very important, because convincing can be a very challenging area in our life. I would just ask you, whatever is in your mind, whatever is there to make a difference or better for the people, embrace it. Talk to Jehovah. Pray with him. Talk to friends who can motivate you, not to bring you down. Because whatever you think of in life, if you want it to happen, it will happen. But if you put doubts in it and feed it with the wrong negativities and purposes, then your dream's gonna die. For example, today, there's so many things that are happening today. There's so many dreams that are dead. If you think back in the day of Bin Laden, there's so many plans that people have. But because of the individual actions pertaining to Bin Laden, the dreams are put aside and forget. Saddam Hussein, back in those days, so many people with great visions and dreams, but because of Saddam Hussein war, the dreams died. COVID is in place. Everybody embracing the mask. But today, Putin and Ukraine is at war. Where is COVID? Nobody paid it any attention right now. They're more thinking of raising the price on gas rather than COVID, because Putin is at war. So whenever you have something in place for a dream or vision, embrace it. Okay? Thank you. Had a question?
Yes.
Teresa.
Mr. Tony Prophet, I have a question. What effect does the word arms have against Jamaican today?
Arms, the effect that word arms have against Jamaica today, we have been fed with military ammunitions and guns, and you name it. It's destructive, and that is what destroys our nation today. Today, Jamaicans don't really look into themselves and say, I will forgive Carlos, I will forgive Anthony, I will forgive Jasmine. No, they don't want that. They want to kill first. Their solutions are blood. All they think of is ammunition, how to get ammunition. If you ask a Jamaican person today, especially younger boys, what are they interested in love? They tell you go to hell. Ask them for a gun, they tell you which weapon they want. How much money to buy a bullet? $200, something like that for one bullet. That's how it is. And an M16, maybe 7,000, whatever thousands. And they're buying it. Yet their children are suffering. Their mother and fathers are suffering. But ammunition. So that's the effect with Jamaica today. Arms is a killer anywhere in the world, especially in Jamaica. Carlos.
Does the Jamaican Code of Covenant harmonize with politics?
The Jamaica Code of Covenant does not harmonize with politics in a negative way. It has to do with politicians' affairs. Because they're the ones who are going to do the changes, the rearranges pertaining to words, not the covenant itself. They're the ones who got to do whatever needs to be done necessarily. So it's not about political purposes. It won't be any backlashes on us or me. We have nothing to do with that. But they are the ones who are going to handle it, put it in place where it's supposed to be. The Governor General, the Prime Minister, the lawyers, Attorney Generals, all those people. They are the ones who are going to get connected with to agree or disagree. But it wasn't intentionally done to be in the eyes of politicians or use it. With that question though, we have friends from back home like politicians like Councillor Devon Brown, those people. Okay, I've spoken with people in places in the government institute. They are saying if the JLP that are in power right now, remember we're in political affairs, but they're saying if the JLP, Jamaica Labour Party, does not use it, their PNP, People National Party, will use it to win the people. So that's where I'm not worrying about what they want to agree on, because one party want to use it to win election, and if the other party doesn't embrace it to change Jamaica to the better, that's their
choice.
Challenge, or you call it, what, when you put one in a rope, tug of war. We love the tug of wars in these people. Any other question? Go ahead. Wayne.
What is the meaning of the coat of arms to you?
The meaning of the coat of arms to me is basically a low self-esteem project. I will not say it is a destroyer, because the things that make it up, they're not all destroyers. But when you put them together, they become a destroyer. What it means to me, it's no future. It means to me no education upliftment system. It means to me are deployed to keep us down. It means to me we got to do better. It means to me we are a people of integrity, a great race, a race with talents, education, and future. So it means to me, lift me up. instead of holding me down. Get what I'm saying? Thank you so much. Yes, Mr. Don.
You've answered this in part, but what do you expect there will be some obstacles?
Yes.
And if there are, how are you going to deal with it?
Okay, in life, when I met an individual, my brother, my mother, my boss, even though I might present positiveness to him, sometimes he can even say, or them, no, we don't like this. Even though they know it's for the better. They opposes. That will happen to us in life today. Whenever it happens, do not hold on to let go of your dream. Do not let go of what you expected. Embrace what you're doing. Continue to push towards progress and success. Because disappointments are in life. Okay? Denials are in life. That doesn't say you are what they're saying. If it wasn't something good, they wouldn't oppose you. This is what's going to happen. The people that are putting arms in Jamaica, like whoever it is, I don't know if it's gangsters or whoever it is, they are going to be the ones who are offended if arms are changed to covenant. Because war is the most expensive thing in the world. War is the most expensive movement in the world. When you hear about when the country going to when there's no jobs and everything, so what do you call it, recession? Don't think it's a bad thing for the government. It's good. Because things bloom afterwards. When it comes to war, it takes money to fight war. The money that they spend in war, like down in Russia right now, can feed the world. One bomb is billions of dollars.
Crazy.
One airplane is billions of dollars. Don't think those flying birds up there are cheap.
No.
Don't think the soldiers have to be fed. The ammunition, they need gold, they need diamond to make lasers, right? Laser guns. They need all kind of things to make weapons. When it's war, the woman like you all here call into factories to make shots and shells and bombs. You're put to work. The iron and the metal all on the seas. So it's very expensive. So that's what it really meant. Any other question? Okay, Christine.
If this proposal is approved, what would be the biggest change that you'd want to see in Jamaica?
Oh my gosh, the biggest change is people coming together. If this is approved, I would want to see people come together in love and unity, growth, loving each other as God's property, education system rise. I want to see people can enjoy the country again. Love your grandmother and your grandfather. You know, I want to see hospital get beds, you know, linen sheets. I want to see people can marry in love. Mothers and fathers stop running to the courthouse for child maintenance and all that. I want to see a new paradise. That's what I would love. I'm not worrying about Christians or church or whatever they want to do. I'm not worried about that. I'm talking about the people. I would love to see people seeing people as people. So that's one of my biggest changes. Yes.
Okay. In your opinion, do you think anyone has explained in detail the meaning and the significance of the Jamaican coat of arms?
No, in my opinion, I doubt that. The reason why when I do my surveys, I question like a lot of teachers, principals, maybe 2 police officers when I do my survey. And every individual that I talk to tell me they have no clue what this was. Every individual I talk to. There's not one person. I maybe talked to over 30 people pertaining to this. People come to our house at our parties and sitting down, and I brought this up. And people say, oh my gosh, what is this? Nobody really looked into it because we run with it. But today, yes, I think so. Yeah.
By looking on the coat of arms, does it define who we are?
Yes, yes. By looking on the coat of arms, it doesn't define you as a Jamaican. Nothing on this defines we who we are. Not even black people. Nothing. That's why it says that it's not discrimination. It's not about races. It's not about who is right or who is wrong. It's about the truth. When you take this away and look at this, are you seeing anything saying you're a Jamaican? But in the mind, it was given to us to use. So when you see it, you say, this is Jamaica. But the conspiracy behind this, it's all about this, the grave. When you look at this, does it say you're a Jamaican or who you are? Yeah, because everything about it is about Jamaica. It's telling you indirectly who you ought to be. A people, a Jamaican, a proud nation of love.
Because out of many, one people goes a far way.
I need a whole day to explain that.
Another thing about the original coat of arms is that, to me, it represents colonialism.
Oh my gosh. We need a whole day for this.
This is the root of these things, because it started with discovery and expansion and all that sort of thing.
And all of
looking
that.
for ways it needs to produce wealth to bring back to Europe.
Yes.
And you can see with the fruits and stuff like that, that sort of represents a breadbasket.
Oh my gosh.
It was like, this is what they used to grow there, or what they caused
This is wonderful.
there because of the weather.
Yes.
And then that was taken back to England.
This is wonderful. This is wonderful, yes.
So that, to me, it represents colonialism.
Yes.
And right now, that particular subject is a bit of a sore spot with a lot of countries.
It is.
So I can see why the thing should be thrown in the trash can.
Yes, I love that. I'm loving it. Miss, she'll been so quiet for a long time. You know what I love with this woman? I said it to her over there before we start. Even when she comes to the house, she's so quiet, observative, and humble. Those three spirits are great to work with. Your question.
So what would be most important to you by making these changes accepted?
What would be most important to me is that black people as a whole, not only Jamaica, are awakening to the truth and the light of the world. What it means to me, we are now embracing the truth and the commandments of Jehovah. We are now accepting him for who he is and who we are. We are created not as animals, but to worship and serve him in the best way we can. We are not here to tell each other who is right from who is wrong in what they're doing, but we can do what is right and what is wrong in our doing. So what it means to me is we're going to show the world that if Jamaica change, the world can change. Because one of the most ardent, stiff-necked people are black people and Jamaican. I can say that. I can speak for Jamaican. We are very hard to get along with. We are determined. We don't care. We don't take anything for nothing. We retaliate even when it's bad or good. But if we embrace and get the changes, you're going to see the changes within us. Because I still believe we are kings and queens. And we have the princess and prince growing up. So if we can teach them the way we live, change the way we live. Listen, pride could be a killer. And pride could be a joy. Depends on how you use pride. If you use pride in trying to keep this and abolish this, then you're going to see what the Father, I can see what he's going to do. He said to do this, I do it. I leave it there. What I need to do is for us is to keep pushing this. We're going to tell them what to do, how to do, where to do. I'm going to wear it. I'm going to push it. I'm going to embrace it. And I know whatever Father said will be done. Thank you for that question. I love that one.
I must say this is a great historical moment.
Yes, it is. It is. Yes. Jasmine.
Hi. Okay. So I know that you said that the code of the covenant doesn't have any you don't have any political backing or anything about that for that. However, do you expect any like political pushback because you were trying to change the Code of Arms to the Code of the Covenant?
Yes, yes.
Thinking, like, especially in terms of like being a British colony or anything like that, and
Yes.
holding the flag of England.
I remember the person who asked that question before. That question is very important. It's very important. Because I'm happy you asked that one, because I always want to go highlight. It doesn't have anything to do with politics. Okay? But yet, there are going to be politicians who will reject it. They will oppose. It won't hurt me because it's out of my hand. But I'm sure it's going to hurt the people, the nation, the future. Because if the father, back in the days, Jasmine, the father used prophets and dreamers and visionaries to bring the news to the people, to lead the messages, like Jonah, or you name them, Elijah. If this man should talk to you, oh my gosh, you blow your mind. Jonah, Elijah, even Tiger too. Tiger, okay. Moses. He used to use Moses to bring the message. Today, those messages take a time to manifest. What he said to me, Tony, spell your name P-R-O-P-H-I-T in order to profit from the prophets. So the things you speak will happen now. Not speaking today and 20 years. So he gave me abbreviation, explanations, things how to present things. I wrote like for a magazine, one book. I write the songs that he ordained me to write, and everything is inspirational. So I know they're going to reject. Yeah. I know that. But the rejection for me is the best. Because at least they're going to say, remember, there was a guy with his organizations presented this.
You said no.
And you said no. What do you have planned for me then? That's going to be the question. Especially younger ones. When the schoolers start to love this, they want them on their bags and their books and their pens and their pencils and sharpeners. They want them in school. They're going to love it. The world is going to fall. Okay. This is what I vision. The world is going to fall in love with this so much that people are going to love it more than Jamaicans. People are going to love it more than Jamaicans. If you notice today, this is why I know racism is foolishness. If they don't stop us, we just go. This is why I know racism is foolishness. Watch this. Once, we used to fight for our rights. Nigger, black people, African American, fighting for our rights. Just like the Mexicans, the Indians, the Chinese, everybody has a racial issue to fight for in our North American countries. Look at the changes that people realize. Do you realize the Mexican, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Indians, you name it, fighting for black people?
Yeah.
Today, nations are fighting for our rights. Nations are fighting nations to stop them from calling us nigger. Nations are getting married to black people.
Having kids.
Check out the NBA. When it started. Check it out now. Check out NFL, CFL. Check out everything. People, even when this guy died, the police that nearly the guy. George Floyd. You watch the news?
Everybody from the white.
White fight for us more than black, you know. A lot of black hold back. They were scared to confront. I've seen white people, Mexican, you name them, Cubans, coming out to fight for black people. I've seen that. So a lot of change is going to take place. Any other questions?
I have a comment.
Comment?
Well, I see in the popular culture, in the music,
yes.
You know, American music go through the world.
Yes.
Just like our reggae music go through the world.
Yes.
I see in the youth culture,
yes.
From Jamaica, the alligator and the crocodile chat. It has gone through their spirit till a man is taking pride, a gangster man is taking pride in calling himself a crocodile.
Yes.
And them all call the shot them crocodile teeth.
Yes. Whoa.
And, you know? So it's the mentality it has soaked in completely.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to see what happens. Yeah.
For real.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to what them will come up with when that take over, you know?
Yes.
What am I gonna sing about?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm loving that. Let me hear something from. Yes.
Yeah.
Let me hear something. Okay. I'm going to challenge 2 questions. I have 2 questions before we close. And any of the ladies can answer. Any of the ladies. Concerning the Court of Covenant, ladies, what changes do you think, or what would you like to see happen when it comes to female gender concerning the covenant? Ladies, anything, any question, any answer? Because, okay.
I think especially in Jamaica,
Yes.
that female equality and like between the sexes, whatever, men are held to such a higher standard and are put on a pedestal versus females are lesser than. And I think that is really important, like that we need to bring up women because women are the ones who bear the children. Women are the ones who create life and create the men that we put up there.
Yes.
You understand?
I love that. You know why I ask that? When I'm writing, if I go to write about Wayne, maybe I get inspired to write about Carlos. And even though I write Wayne, is blacked out, and I'm writing about Carlos. Women in Jamaica, they have been treated like dirt today. They're killing them like animals. They're raping them. Even the younger girls, 10, 14, 12, 9, missing, rape, killing bushes. This mentality, it's crazy. The alligator mentality eat their own. If the males in Jamaica are turning to the females, who are, come on, ladies are weak. Very few might go to a karate class or a judo. Ladies are weak. How could the male going against the female by raping and killing them? So if you kill the mother,
destroy the population.
Population
and
dies.
then kill off the kids too.
So the change of Court of Covenant will benefit the females and the moms in Jamaica by far.
Yeah.
See, I just want to touch on that point a little bit because, like, it's not just, you know, men are against women all the time or whatever, but when a man stands up for a woman, right, then he's put down by other men.
Yes.
And they're told, oh, why are you standing up for the woman? Why are you like a woman? Are you this or whatever? And I think that the whole negative connotation that being a woman is a bad thing needs to stop.
Wow. I love that. I'm loving that. Mr. Dan, I'm loving it. I got to talk to you afterwards.
I'd like to add to that subject a bit. And I'll tell you a
We're
little,
not weak. We're strong.
Yes.
tell you a little story.
Yes.
You're familiar with a prophetess friend of mine.
Yes.
Yes. She was a child.
Yes.
One day the Lord said to her that He is going to cause more women to be in charge. Okay. That's like politically, in corporations.
Yes.
And you're starting to see more women being elected.
Yes.
And you're seeing more women are on board of directors.
Yes.
It's slow, but it's changing. And he says the reason he's doing that is because we have failed at our job as a man.
I believe in that.
You see?
I believe in that. I strongly believe in that.
I believe
you know why I believe in that? When it comes to the male, to add to what you're saying, when it comes to the male gender, we are more aggressive, we are stubborn, and most of us take no for an answer. I'm not bashing the man, I'm just trying to embrace the truth. And if you listen to your wife or your girlfriend, the female you live with, more, there's a brighter future for you. I'm not saying the woman cannot be whatever, the man cannot be whatever, and disagreements. I understand that. But don't matter what happened, you got to be a point where you can reason and debate. If you see where it's not working, it's best if you separate yourself. Because in the end, nobody's going to win. And when you damage both each other, you damage the kids.
I'll add a little bit to that, if I
Yes.
just interject. The
Yes.
same prophetess woman one time,
Yes.
on different occasions, said to me,
Yes.
when I was having difficulties in my marriage,
Yes.
I had little kids, he says, if my children are going to sin more being married, you're better off apart.
Yes, yes,
And
yes,
he would permit that
yes,
for the sake of reducing the sin, if you
yes, yes.
will.
Beautiful,
And
beautiful.
for the betterment of the
Yes,
children.
yes. To end off, at this moment, because we want permission the next time. As I ask the ladies, we're going to leave the rest of the question for another time, but I want to ask the men now the same questions that I asked the ladies. What does it benefit us as men to make it better for ourselves?
We're able to enjoy Jamaica as we want to. Yeah, we can go anywhere in Jamaica.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm from Manchester.
Yes.
I don't think about going to Kingston or Manchester.
I get you. Yes,
I'd rather
yes.
stay, you know what I mean?
Yes,
Just
yes.
I want to be able to explore the 14.
Yes.
Yes.
Makes sense,
You know what I
makes
mean?
sense, makes
And have
sense.
no fear, you know?
Yes.
I know that if I want some water, I could go knock on that door over there,
Yes,
no problem. you know?
yes, yes, I love that. Yeah, I love that, I love that. Yes, Tiger. Yes. You were going to say something, Tiger?
Yeah,
Come around.
I'm saying it, you know, it's the
Yes.
fear, I think, for men to eliminate the fear basically.
Yes.
Because the only reason a man can turn against is kind of afraid.
Yes.
Because what are you afraid of? You're afraid somebody
Yes.
can come kill you, you know?
Exactly.
See what I'm saying?
You're right. And concerning fear too. Concerning fear, a lot of us are afraid of our own wives too, you know.
Yes.
And a lot of us men are afraid to say we're wrong. A lot of men don't want to say I'm sorry. A lot of men don't want to cry. I cry little tears. I tremble. I'm nervous. See? So, okay. Okay. So, Richard, could you wrap it up with Land of a Bird? So, we now come to an end, and I'm very happy, I'm proud of you guys in the journey. We love it. In the future, we're going to be greater, and we're going to embrace the Code of Covenant. Have a wonderful evening. This is a Land of